Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by StrikeForceEnergy.com. Put down the water and grab a fucking drink.
Welcome to Drinking Bros. This week, Jarred Taylor and I are actually live from Los Angeles. And we thought we'd call some of our favorite actors from some of our favorite films and get them on the show and just kind of learn about their life, about their career, and hear some interesting fucking stories that nobody really gets to hear. Tonight's guest is Alanna Ubach. You might know her from Waiting. She was the girl who flashed her bush. You might know her from All the Legally Blondes, playing Reese Witherspoon's best friend. You might know her from Meet the Fockers. She was Ben Stiller's maid who took his virginity. Currently, she is on a Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce on Bravo, which I'm sure a ton of ladies in the audience watch week after week. But she's one of our favorites. She's absolutely fucking hilarious, and she starred in close to 100 films, including movies with Johnny Depp and fucking Reese Witherspoon. Jesus, man. It's a phenomenal career, and she's a really, really funny chick. So she's up next. But first, as you know, we have some sponsors who pay for this fucking show to be on the air and pay for Jarred and I to be sharing an Airbnb in Los Angeles. First up, we've got StrikeForceEnergy.com. Wow, kids, they are in 7-Elevens across the nation now. They've got a store locator on their page. Go to StrikeForceEnergy.com. Check out the stores they're in. And they've got all the flavors, and they're in a lot of 7-Elevens. And if you want to see them in a 7-Eleven near you, just walk in, ask for the manager, tell them you want some Strikeforce Energy in there, and then you'll buy the shit out. They've got 4 flavors. They've got Make America Grape Again. They've got orange, they've got lemon, and they've got original. They've also got a 750 milliliter bottle. It sits on your counter or your bar, so you can pop a couple of squirts in, boom, boom, and go on your way. Go to StrikeForceEnergy.com. It's time to kick the can, kids. Everybody's fucking doing it. Order some Strikeforce, have it delivered to your house. They've got a subscription of the month club, which we all have. And they ship everywhere in the entire world, so there's no excuse. Wherever you are, they'll find you. Antarctica, in your fucking face. They'll be there. Go to StrikeForceEnergy.com, type in the promo code DrinkinBros for 20% off. Again, that's StrikeForceEnergy.com, type in the promo code DrinkinBros for 20% off. Next up, we've got GhostBed.com. Sleep so good, it's scary. One of the finest mattresses ever made. Look, it's the finest mattress I've ever had my entire goddamn life, and that's like, I'm actually not lying about that. We all got some to start off the sponsorship, and fuck, man, I ended up buying another one. Jarred bought another one, and so did Matt. Matt bought like 9 pillows too, because the pillows are fucking amazing. You'll see a lot of people trying to copy them. The mattresses are shipped right to your house, which is fucking incredible. You don't even have to go into the store anymore. You pop them out of the box, they flip right open, and literally, it's the finest fucking sleep you'll ever have. I got out of that Airbnb, and I was like, Jesus Christ, just get me back on a fucking ghost bed again. Go to ghostbed.com/drinkingbros. You get 2 free pillows when you order, and you get $50 off a mattress with the promo code DrinkinBros. We're a big fan of them. So go to ghostbed.com/drinkingbros. They've also got a pay-as-you-go plan. I know a lot of people are like, hey, I need a mattress. They're kind of pricey. These aren't that bad, but they've also got a pay-as-you-go plan, which is nice. So go to ghostbed.com/drinkingbros. Get yourself a fucking mattress and some pillars. It's well worth it. Well worth it. Next up, we've got warfightertobacco.com. Look, kids, they've been on the show for a long time, so you know what they do. You know that they bring the finest quality cigars on the planet right to your fucking mouth. Those guys, Scott Jansen, the boys, are really doing the goddamn thing. They're 100% combat veteran owned. If you don't got them, go get them and smoke them. They're great. They're great for any occasion. Look, last show I said they're good for an abortion. That's true. But they're also good for celebrating the birth of a baby. So go to warfightertobacco.com and and support the show. Again, Rocco's one of the co-owners, and they're all 100% combat veteran owned. They've got a fine line of drinking bros cigars. Also, if you want to see them in cigar stores near you, again, same thing with Strikeforce. Just go in and ask them, tell them, and then email Scott Jansen and the boys. They'll get the goddamn Warfighter tobacco cigars in the stores. They've also got some sweet teas there. Big fan of warfightertobacco.com. Use the promo code DrinkinBros for 10% off. Can't say a nice enough things about them. Is that a word? A nice? Nah, not even close. Not even close. Can't say enough good things about them. Either way, a nice enough. Look, you're getting magic in a fucking box. So celebrate yourself, celebrate your life. Last up, it's look, Thanksgiving and Christmas time is right around the bend. Go pick up a copy of A Night She Cries While He Rides His Steed, the first ever romance novel for dudes. I wrote it. The genius, the messiah, the man with the elephant dick. It's the funniest book you'll ever read. If you like Hot Shots Part 2, not the first one, but the second one. Or you like Blazing Saddles or fucking, all that crazy shit. It's the funniest book ever written by Ross Mastrantonio, Orenthal, James Patterson. It's also on audible.com. Funniest audiobook of all goddamn time. With that, kids, we are done with the sponsors. Enjoy the show. Enjoy Alanna Ubach. She's great. Live, the Shade the Eagle tour.
Oh, nice.
So this show has gotten so big that we filmed a live tour over the summer as a movie. Comes out at Thanksgiving.
Oh my God, you guys!
I know.
Yeah,
Come
you ready?
on.
Now
No.
you're on.
I'm
You're
so
going to be right on the show right as this thing drops.
Right
you
as
guys,
this is coming out.
I'm
Yeah.
so fucking excited.
I know.
For you guys.
We have, by the way, that sweet, lovely voice you hear is Alanna Ubach. One of the best. You're my favorite comedy actress of all time, by the way.
Are you kidding me?
Dead serious.
That
I
makes
mean,
me
I've
kinda
said
wanna
this.
cry.
I've said this forever. I put you in everything that I possibly could have.
Ross, I fucking love you. He and I yes, I was honored to be working with Ross in a movie that was called
Helen Keller versus Night Wolves. You're welcome.
Yes,
And that
yes,
is
that's
where I
right.
met her.
But
the first
Stuntman
time.
is
Yes.
where we met. Stuntman is where we met.
We
And
did.
Yes, that's right.
We did. It was a movie called Stuntman. There was a bunch of celebrities in it, and there was a role. There was 2 roles open.
Yeah.
And I went in for a table read and crushed, and they were like, "Hey, we want you to do this because you improv'd it." And
I still haven't
and went
seen
away
this.
with a
Oh
script.
my God. Winona Ryder,
I haven't
right?
seen it. No.
No, that's Darwin Awards.
Oh,
That's
okay.
another movie, Darwin Awards.
I've not seen
But anyway, so I there was another role left, and they were like, "Hey, is there anybody that can improv like you?" And I was like, "Actually, there's this one girl for 10 years that everybody's like, dude, you guys are like fucking besties, cousins. You got to get her as Alanna Ubach." And I was like, "All right, great." So I told this director, I was like, "Hey, get Alanna Ubach. Everybody said she's fucking the funniest girl on the planet." And I wanted to work with her. So the day you came on a set, I didn't have a scene with you. I stayed and watched your scenes, and I was like, "Oh my God, she's as brilliant as I heard."
Dude, I loved your improvisation in this one scene where basically what happens is Stuntman is about all these stuntmen. It's like almost like a
Stuntmen in
mockumentary.
Hollywood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stuntmen in
Is
Hollywood.
this out?
Yeah,
Does this exist? I need to see it.
It's really fun.
not that great.
It's not great, but it's such a cute
It could have
concept.
been.
YouTube.
Could
It
have
could
been
have been,
hilarious.
yeah.
Well, Ross, of course, he had the opportunity of improvising, and so there basically what happens in the scene is there's an award show going on for stuntmen, and Ross's character, of course, he's this like cowboy, really, here's my dick. Large and in charge balls.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and he doesn't win the award. But basically, the guy who's winning the award says, I really just want to give a shout out to my friend. And if you have anything to say, and Ross gets up and he's like, take the girth of my cock and shove it up your ass. And he wasn't supposed to say that, but he had this giant cowboy hat on. I thought he was the funniest motherfucker.
Then I walked out of the room. I flicked off everybody in the room and walked out.
Just
It
walked,
was so-
and this
it
wasn't
was-
in the script or anything.
No,
You know,
no, nowhere
Do you
near
have
it.
anything to say?
I just, you know what? I I completely and totally respond to people that have the embarrassment chip missing in their brain.
It's perfect.
And
Yeah.
there's nothing you people like you, Mr. Ross, come every like 25 years. And that's it. You were swimming in your dad's balls at one time, and you were born. And people like him come every 25 years.
This is our key.
It's
this
like
is our
Haley's
key to
Comet, man.
Yeah.
Kevin game. This is our key to the Kevin game.
What's key to the
this
Kevin?
one will do
Who's key?
Kevin.
Who's
Tell her,
Kevin?
yeah.
What's going
Okay,
on?
so we've come up with a game, and no one has done it yet.
Okay.
It's called
Drink every time you
Fuck
see a
You,
Kevin Hart.
Kevin. No.
Fuck you, Kevin?
Yes. So you're leaving the airport, and as you're walking out of security and you pass TSA where people are stuck in line,
Fuck you, Kevin.
you pick one person in that and you unload on them. Like, oh, I
Fuck
guess
you,
this
Kevin.
is it. Oh, I guess you're flying back to San Francisco to be with that whore, motherfucker. I guess it wasn't enough that I licked your fucking asshole the other night.
Yeah.
I thought that would have sealed a deal between us. And then you just like, fuck you, Kevin. And you bounce.
Yeah, you
Oh,
bounce.
my
And now
God.
And you
there's
get one person to film it.
that's just
Yeah.
like, I
And
don't
they're
know,
stuck.
I don't know who that was.
They're stuck in the
line.
TSA line,
Like,
and it's just like,
everybody's looking at them. You just single them out.
That's our dream, is to film that
Yes.
once, ruin this guy's entire flight, his
It's
whole
called
experience,
Fuck You, Kevin.
and then you walk out. Because if you film it on a phone, they'll never know.
Oh
Yeah.
my God,
And it's
that's
just
so
called Fuck
good.
You, Kevin. It's
it
just
would
like,
go
hey.
viral
Oh,
as fuck.
fuck
Yeah.
you, Kevin.
Fuck you,
Fuck you,
Kevin.
That's
Kevin.
so good. You know what I used to do? We would never fall through with it when I was a little kid, but like when I'd be coming out, and people have obviously like chauffeurs have the signs out.
Yeah.
That, this is for Mr. McConnell.
Mr. Thompson.
Mr. Thompson.
Yeah.
And then you and I are walking out. I'm like, Mr. Thompson, it was so nice to meet you. Take care. And then you just leave with that fucker.
Yeah.
And he's like, are you Mr. Thompson? Yeah, Mr. Thompson. Then you just go ahead and
you
you
just
have a
bounce
free
on
ride
that.
home.
Yeah.
No, that's wrong. They gave you that address? No, oh my God, no, that's my office's address. You're actually going to McCaden Place. So that was fantastic. You get a free ride home.
When
That's
I
how you
went
do
to
it.
Costa Rica, there was a guy with a sign that said Lord Hot Dog.
Oh,
Lord,
yeah.
oh, that's so
his
good.
nickname.
That's
That's his
so
nickname
good.
is Lord Hot Dog.
Hot
He's a
Dog.
big hot dog eating
I'm a
guy.
hot dog guy.
Big dog
Did
eater.
Ross tell you
Big
to bring
dog
hot
eater.
dogs?
No, I brought
Because
chorizo, though.
We were
Oh,
talking,
yeah,
It's
chorizo.
spicier, girl.
Oh.
we were talking about that. I said you could have called her and told her to bring dogs.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it's like, dude,
hell yeah.
we're not bringing hot dogs over. He's had enough
I
hot
could've.
dogs. He's had enough hot dogs in his life.
There's just not enough hot dogs.
Well, you guys
Yeah,
are like
you're
a
good to go.
block north of Hollywood Boulevard. I'm sure you've had your fill.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Not yet. I
Had
had
your fill,
McDonald's.
yeah. He had McDonald's, but he's
McDee's.
getting dicked later.
I mean, I had a light McDonald's. You
Good
know,
for
it
you.
was-
Yeah, very light, very light.
Yeah.
By the way,
Six-piece
kids,
chicken?
Alanna is one of our favorite actresses. You might know her from Waiting, all of the Legally Blondes.
yeah, but waiting,
right.
she flashes full bush.
Full Bush.
Yeah, I do.
That's full bush waiting.
I
Meet
was.
the Fockers.
Yes.
Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce.
Yeah.
Is it over yet? Has it ended? or?
It has ended.
Yes.
We have
Have
the,
you had
the
a
last
true divorce?
What?
Have
What's
you
my-
ever had a real divorce?
I have not had a real divorce.
I'm on two, so
Oh, good for you. Good for you, Liz Taylor with a cock. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. No, I was Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce came to an end. We found out that the series would be coming to an end, but the last season still hasn't aired, and I think it's going to be airing in January of 2018. So there you
Yes,
go.
because you guys shot back to back 2 seasons, right?
Yeah, back to back actually, yeah, we went up to season 5.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
a good run.
Long
few laughs,
time.
a few cries, man. 3
You-
years
You
in
replaced
Vancouver. Fuck.
Janine
5?
Garofalo.
I did. I replaced her. She was not happy on the show. She left, and I was like, "I'll
You're
take her
better than
sloppy
her.
seconds."
Yeah.
You're better than her.
Well, I ain't no
you should have been.
dumbass. Take the
You
money
should
and
have
run.
been in Wet Hot American Summer.
Why not? I'll
You would
take
have
it.
been way better.
I mean, look, I'm shorter.
Janine's
I'm more
sour.
brunette. No,
We'll get
She's,
into Alana's career because, like, with you personally, you are so funny and you change roles so much. You also
Thanks,
do a
man.
bunch of voiceovers in
I do.
everything in their mother. You were in what was the one with Johnny Depp? Rango.
Rango, I'm coming out in Coco, which comes out the same day as your movie on Thanksgiving. Coco.
Coco's
Yeah.
coming
The
out.
Pixar film.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really fun.
She does a ton of voiceovers.
How was that?
It was amazing. I mean, what's really wild is that Pixar is. They're very. I mean, it's like the Pentagon.
Did you go
When
to San Francisco for that?
Yeah, I went to San
Oh,
Francisco.
geez, it's
When
like
you go
the
to the
Pentagon.
headquarters, Oakland, and it's wild, man.
Actually, I got my start with somebody from Pixar.
Really?
Absolutely. It was a guy that was in charge of security at Pixar, and he got the Apple discount for 25% off. And when I got my first bonus, he said, "Hey, I'll give you my 25% off. Buy the best computer you can
What a
buy."
sweet guy.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, that's where I started.
Jared has blown up from. He made his own
never met a
videos,
man in
edits his
security I
own
didn't like.
videos.
Yeah. No way.
Yeah. There's sketches. By the way, there's sketches online. You haven't had one under 10 million views. And
Are you fucking kidding me, man?
hey, they've got one that's 48 million.
What?
No,
Yeah.
we have a 60.
I didn't know
66.
48 million
Oh yeah,
people exist.
66 million. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, where have I
66 million,
been? I'm in a goldfish bowl.
You're in a bubble.
It's
you're in a bubble.
wild. I'll be
But
damned.
you look, you've always been one of my favorites. I'm surprised we've had this conversation before about Saturday Night Live.
Oh God.
I'm surprised you didn't get Saturday Night Live.
I'll tell you the story.
But you have an interesting story about it.
It's
yeah.
a great story. I was dating a guy at the time. We know who he is.
Oh, we do.
dude?
Yeah.
It was definitely
and
a dude.
he was a comedian, and he said, "Alanna, you've got to get Saturday Night Live. They're interviewing people all over again." And I said, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, you should do a tape." And I said, "Okay." So I went out. And I had a wig made that was half Angelina Jolie, half Jennifer Aniston. And I had my friend film us, basically, Jennifer Aniston and Angelina Jolie having a fight with each other. So I was half one person, then I'd turn and then I'd be the other person. So that was really fun. And then I was Dora the Horror Explorer. You know, this 1-800 number that you call Dora the Horror Explorer. And so I had this funny little Dora Explorer wig done. It was all about funny wigs. And then the other one was, I don't know, just bits and pieces of characters from my one-woman show that I did called Patriotic Bitch. So I superimposed those, sent over the video, and of course, my boyfriend at the time knew everything about SNL, and he was like, "Listen, Lorne Michaels loves the Rolling Stones, so please have, Lawrence Rolling Stone music coming up the moment, it says Alanna Ubach, and then you can show the reel." Well, obviously, Marcy Klein really did respond to it, and I get a phone call saying, "We want to fly you up, and we want you to audition for SNL." Now, for SNL, you basically have to have it's got to be like 5 to 10 minutes of 3 original characters,
Tops.
3 original characters, and 3 well-known characters that you have to come
Impressions.
up with.
Yep.
Impressions. So I basically honed it. What did I do? I got a hold of like the head administrator of Second City, and I said, "Hey man, I need you to. I'm going to pay you to help me hone this into like a mini one-woman show, where one character sort of bleeds into the next, and we'll have sound effects and all of that fun stuff with it." So I did, and I had costumes, I had everything. I flew out. I probably rehearsed this like 5-minute thing about 70 times before finally going in. And they bring you in, and there are absolutely no laughs when you walk in. Lorne Michaels, and I'm sure everyone else was there, and I did everything, and I did the Angelina Jolie, Jennifer Aniston thing. I was finished. I bowed. I walked into this tiny little cubicle where you're sharing all of these tiny little dressing rooms with everyone else. And then I overheard Kristen Wiig at the time come out and say, "Was I nervous this time?" And Marcy Klein said, "No, you were great. You were great." And then Marcy Klein comes into my room and she says, "Wait here." And I thought, "Wait here? Oh shit. Oh shit."
This is it?
This is it.
Yeah.
And I sat there, and there was a phone. And there was a phone in my dressing room, and I could actually call someone. So I called my mom, and I was able to call outside 9 and then dial a number. And she was like, "Hello." I was like, Mom, they want to keep me here for SNL. She was like, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, I think they just want to talk to me or something." She was like, well, you show them what you're made of, mija, and you do your thing. I was like, "Okay." And I sat there and I waited, and they waited for Kristen Wiig to leave. This was her second audition because the feedback for her first audition was she was too nervous. And then she went in and she did it again. So I think she established a rapport with them. She was sweet. She was humble.
Sure.
And they got to know her well. So then Marcy Klein comes and knocks on my door, and she was like, "Would you like a tour of the studio?" I said,
No way.
Yeah, I'd love a tour. So they take me out, and they showed me where the big, huge tower, the clock falls, and they showed me everything. And they were all trying to talk to me, and I was in such shock that it was really hard for me to have a conversation with these people. I didn't know how to be. because I was so obsessed with
in awe
with,
of all of
yeah.
because the pictures are up on the walls
Yeah.
of every famous like Eddie Murphy, Chevy Chase, Bill Murray.
Yes. And I'm so
and you're
used
like, I could be one of
I
them.
could be one
I
of
could
them.
be one of them.
Well, fuck you guys. I'm so used to auditioning and
Yeah.
I'm so used to getting rejected that I thought, oh my God, they're going to want me to do it over again. And so I was in the mode of getting ready to do it over again. So I was in the mode of about to perform.
Yeah.
So as I was talking to them, I probably looked, like a fucking idiot because I was just sort of going over everything again in my head because I thought they were going to say, could you do that over again?
Yeah.
And they didn't. They just wanted to meet me. And they said, listen, can you stay over the weekend because Lauren wants to meet you on Monday? And I said, absolutely. So for the entire weekend, I'm writing like different skits and ideas and stuff like that to pitch him. Finally, I show up on Monday and I get there at like maybe 12 noon and Lauren sees me at 5 in the afternoon. I'm
5 hours you waited in the waiting room.
5 hours I waited in the waiting room and I thought they're trying to test me.
Yeah.
This is cool. Bring it on.
What'd you do for 5 hours?
Marcy Klein at one point brought me into the writer's room. They gave her dirty looks when I walked in. She was like, oh, this is Alanna, by the way. She wants to say hi. I was like, and they gave her dirty looks like, why the fuck are you coming in,
right.
bothering us?
We're doing our fucking job. Yeah,
We're doing our fucking job.
Yeah.
And they were being nice, whatever. And I sat there and there was a TV there. So I thought, okay. And I watched Oprah interview Jennifer Aniston.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, because it was during the breakup, right?
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous. But I sat there and I was just like, wow, I can sit here for 10 hours. I've been on plane rides. This is fine. Yeah. I'm cool. Yeah. I'm cool. And finally he comes out and he's like, Alanna, come on in. And we sat there and he said, are you in a movie that's called, are you in Meet the Fockers that's coming out? And I said, yeah. And he was like, yeah. He was like, I want to tell you something. You're one of those faces where people say they know you. No one knows your name yet. He was like, but when people say it, they're like, oh, that was the girl from this, that, and the other.
Right.
He's like, we only like to bring in original people that have been just discovered by us.
Right.
He was like, so.
Because you've done 30 movies at that point.
I had done a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So he said, it would be very tricky to hire you. Do you understand? He was like, it wouldn't make sense if we brought you on SNL. He was like, we did that with Anthony Michael Hall, but he was also very huge.
No, that's bullshit because they did it with Kenan Thompson.
Yes.
Fuck yes, they did. Fuck him.
And he said it didn't work. It didn't work. He was like, it
did
didn't
though,
really,
because
I
Kenan's
thought so
still
too.
doing it.
By the way,
There
he holds the record now after this year. He is the longest tenured member of Saturday Night Live.
This is why I think
No,
all
17
these executives
seasons.
to me are bullshit because they make up bullshit.
They do make up
they
bullshit.
make up bullshit that doesn't make sense, and nobody ever's like, "Hey, that's stupid."
I don't understand. I never, whatever. But then Kristen Wiig, who actually introduced herself right before I went into the audition, she was just like, "Oh, my boyfriend and I really love you. We saw you in the Brady Bunch movie." I was like, "Oh, thanks." I was like, "Who's this skinny bitch?"
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
I like
Fuck her.
Kristen Wiig.
She's not gonna get this, and she ended up fucking. Now she owns
got
the
it.
world. Now
She
she
got
can
it.
buy me.
And then, yeah, exactly. And now,
You know.
but a mutual friend of ours, Edie Patterson, she's been up for it for years. She was friends with Kristen. She's friends with her 6 best friends have all made SNL, and she has not. And it's like she's another one who's crazy talented. She's on Vice Principals now on HBO.
Thank God. I just want to know that she's working.
I know.
That's it.
I know.
You know what I mean? I mean,
And that's the way you feel, where you're like, dude,
fuck, man. And I had a feeling, it wasn't gonna. He was just like, but we'll think about it, Alanna. And thank you so much. It was wonderful meeting you.
That's
I
a
was like,
bullshit answer,
I
though.
promise, man,
Yeah.
I won't let you down if you hire me. And he was like, at this point, he was just like, it's not about the Gilda Radners and the Chevy Chases anymore. It's about really catering to the celebrity of that.
Yes.
Saturday.
And now the show, by the way, if you watch it today, is all celebrities. So you have Alec Baldwin playing Trump.
That's it.
You have Melissa McCarthy coming in playing Sean Spicer.
Yeah.
It's not about the cast anymore.
It's not about the cast.
And guess what? Nobody watches it.
Yeah.
Everyone watches.
the
Everyone
ratings,
loves it.
Yeah. The ratings this year, because of the politics, have been high. But
still,
you're watching it for the
when they go to
celebrities, not the
online,
cast.
Yeah. It's not the way it was back in the 80s, and it's just really wild because I started out as that kind of actor when I was like 10 years old. And then, you get thrown by the demands of the business and you end up, it's the 80s and you do what you have to fucking do to get
millennials
hired.
don't watch Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
watch YouTube.
And
Yeah, they
Make
watch- yeah.
YouTube videos.
Make YouTube.
Yes.
videos.
Yeah, no.
Guess what?
No.
And then
All
it
it's about.
it's like, oh, who?
It
right.
does
They're
not
like, no,
pay.
we like her.
Wild, man.
It does not
now,
pay.
And now Vine is out of
They're out of business,
It's so fucking
and
weird.
it's crazy.
Right?
It's crazy. So, how old were you when you got started? Were you a child actress?
I was 3 years old and I told my mom I wanted to be on Romper Room. And my mom back then, when you have
My aunt was on Romper Room.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No way.
She was on Romper Room, and you're on for like 5 days in a row.
Yeah.
And my aunt's was like one of the guests, one of the kids.
Yeah.
She had a dress on, couldn't keep it closed the whole time, and they were on camera. So my grandmother told her, she was like, "You're gonna have to close your legs to be on Romper Room." 5 days straight, she just sat there on the show. her
People were
legs
shopping
open.
at the Gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, bitches. That's good. I went on, and Miss Marisa, who's like the first Latina hostess to be in the franchise of Romper Rooms, she looked at me and she went up to my mother, and of course, God, even like the hostess of Romper Room has an indie to do during her hiatus.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Your daughter and I look so much alike. Would she like to play my daughter in this indie movie called Los Alvarez that I'll be doing during my hiatus?
Shut the fuck up.
And I was like, yeah, I will. I'll do it. And my mom looked at me and she was like, yeah, Alanna, you want to do it? I was like, oh yeah, Mom, I want to do it. So we drive up north, and I'm in Los Alvarez, and Henry Darrow, who was a big Mexican actor at the time, played my father, and Miss Marisa played my mom, and I just loved it. I loved getting up at like 5 a.m. with the chickens and getting all this attention.
Going
and
to
being
set,
around,
everybody's catering to you. Yeah.
Everyone's an adult. And I kind of felt like an adult. And, my sister was 11 years older than me. My mom and dad waited for a long time to have me. So I was always around adults. And my mom looked at me when we were driving back. She was like, well, Alanna, did you have fun? And I don't remember saying this, but my mom said that I said this. And I was like, Mama, this is my life. I want to do this forever. And she just thought, oh my God, what a funny little midget. And then it's just so stupid. But Christmas time comes around, and we're at Stonewood Shopping Center in Downey, and my mom basically sits me on Santa's lap, and Santa usually says things really loud so you can hear what your kid wants. And I'm sitting on his lap, and he's just like, what would you like for Christmas, Alanna? I was like, I want a stage. And he was like, oh, a stage for Barbie? I was like, no, Santa, a stage for me. I want lights and
You want your own stage at this point.
I wanted my own stage. And my mom thought it was so damn funny. She told my dad, and this is what's really funny about having immigrants for parents. My dad was Puerto Rican, my mother was Mexican.
Yeah.
So my dad was just like, okay, I'm going to American Home Shopping Center, and I'm going to get wood. And he built like a little mini stage for me.
Wow.
So with like
in the backyard?
Yeah, in the garage.
In the garage.
So like funny little like Christmas lights around the rim.
Yeah.
And he built a stage for me. So for Christmas, I got a stage from Santa. And I would like put, little shows on every Friday night. Like I'd give little flyers out to my mom and dad and my sister. And
Bringers. You were already doing bringer shows.
I was always doing bringer shows, man. And yeah, it was good fun. Like,
that's
way
a
to
dad
go,
right there.
Yeah, my dad was really cool. And his best friend was a carpenter. So they basically built the stage together for me, and they'd be the front. But my dad was a big gambler. And so he'd take me out to Las Vegas, like just the two of us under his arms, and he'd be doing crapshoots. And whatever he won that night, he'd take me to a really great show. And we'd have our prime rib dinner, and we'd be watching Captain
And back in the
Tennille.
day, a prime rib dinner in
That was
Vegas.
hardcore.
That was the best.
It was hardcore.
That was as high as you could go.
As
You
high
made
as
it.
you could go, man.
Dead serious. Yeah.
Prime
yeah.
rib.
He'd be
Yeah.
there with his like blue suede jacket on, just like living the life. And we'd get like huge seats to go see Captain and Tennille and Charo and like the Osmonds, right?
Yeah.
And I said,
The
Dad,
Osmonds are still there.
Donnie and
Osmonds are still there,
Marie.
man.
They're
There's
still
Donnie
fucking.
Marie, man.
They're still fucking, and they're still there.
They're still fucking and they're still there. God bless those. God bless them siblings. And so I think at one point I looked at my dad and I was just like, Dad, did they go pee? And he said, well, yeah, they go pee. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, they're real people. They have like careers and everything. They wake up in the morning and they rehearse and they do these things. And I said, wow. And I just remembered that I wanted to be the lights. I wanted to be the lights in the show. And I think that's so stupid and naive and crazy and weird, but I still want to be the lights.
Yeah.
In the fucking marquee or whatever. I never, it's hard to explain, but if you can carry, the fucking passion that you had as a little kid and you remind yourself why you decided to do it in the first place, you'll always work. because I always remind myself I just wanted to be the fucking lights when I was a little kid. I just
No, look,
I know that sounds so lame
it's not actually.
and gay.
It's a true statement
and-
because you come out here and you do a bunch of gigs,
Yeah.
and then you get jaded by a lot of people get jaded by the experience,
You
and
get
they
so
still
jaded.
don't get caught up in the magic of it.
Yeah.
And I had somebody actually remind me on a set, like after I don't know, 13 or 14 movies, somebody came up to me and I had a shitty day. Like we all do. And I was just like, I had a shitty day.
Oh, God,
somebody
the
comes up to me
darkness.
and they go, hey, you should take one moment out of how long the shoot is. I don't know how many days you're on the shoot, and just look around and enjoy this moment. And remember from when you were a little kid, how much you wanted to do this.
Yeah.
And it stuck with me. And I was like, all right, every single movie afterwards, I've taken one moment to stop by myself, breathe, look around, enjoy, take everything in. And I can tell you that one moment on every single movie ever since.
No shit.
Yes. And it's totally true. So like,
Ross, when did you know you wanted to do this?
I was young. I was super young as well.
You were a little
and
kid.
yeah.
I wish we were neighbors.
I know.
Oh my
We would've
gosh.
crushed.
The sleepovers.
We would have crushed.
Oh,
But
dude.
you take a movie we worked on, Helen Keller versus Nightwolves.
Yeah.
The one moment that I enjoyed myself the most was there was a tarp that was not properly oiled up for you to roll down. They had to throw some water on it. It was the last shot of the night.
Oh, yeah.
And you were supposed to get caught up in it and roll all the way down the hill. And it was miserable for you, miserable for everybody.
It's crazy.
You rolled down this thing, pitch dark. You're rolled up in this tarp. Everybody around you is dying laughing. You look up at me and you're soaked and you were like, am I done? And I was like, yeah. We're done for the day. And like, I remember you were rolled up in all of this shit like a child. This is the shit that we did, is like dress up and as kids, where you're like, oh my God, we're making a movie and you're literally covered in tarp and rain. There's a fake wolf in front of you. Everybody's laughing, having a good time. There's car lights on because there wasn't enough lights.
Yeah.
We're shooting with car lights. It's super late at night. We've gone into overtime. And I was like, that was the one moment from Keller where I was like, all right, we're still pretending. I'm still with all my best friends. You were friends with Jesse. You made friends with Jesse on that shoot.
Yeah.
All of us were super close. And it was just one of those moments where like, oh my God, that was really funny.
Oh my God. No, dude.
And this is what we do for life. And even though, look, none of us made shit off of that. We didn't get him in the movie away for free. We loved it. Like it was a fucking blast. And
Ross, you'll always be that one kid on the block who has the best fucking video games and the best goddamn toys. And people will just keep on going to your birthday parties.
I know.
You got the Jumpy Gin.
One day
You got the best cake.
I know.
You got the chips cake.
Hopefully there'll be a budget behind it one day where it's like, all right, cool.
Hey,
everybody
call
can
them
get
all
paid.
up, but we're not calling the fucking granola eaters that are up here.
Yeah.
We're calling all of our friends.
Yeah.
No, you have to. There's
You
no
have
other
to,
way
and,
to
like,
do it.
Because
No
everybody
other fucking
asked
way
me,
to do it.
like, we've done, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 movies together at this
Yeah.
point. And everybody asked me, like, why do I hire the same people? Because they're great. I know what I'm getting, and I know you're going to knock it out of the park every single time.
Well, you know what's wild about it, and this is really
And
funny.
they show up and supportive.
Well,
Yes.
and something about Ross is he just you've got great fucking taste, and I think there's something about, I think it has everything to do with taste. Is that if you grew up watching Mel Blancs? I mean, you're Mel Blancs on Bath
Mel
Salts.
Brooks, yes. Yeah.
Mel Brooks,
Yeah.
Mel Blancs.
Mel Blancs is
Who's my hero, by the way.
He's
oh
dead.
my God.
He's dead.
Yes, he is dead.
R.I.P.
But yes.
R.I.P. Mel Blancs.
Yeah, oh
Yeah.
my God. I'll say. But no, you're Mel Brooks on Bath Salts. And I think it's when you really find other people that really do gravitate toward the same sense of humor and the same comedy, and they grew up watching the same things. It's they're lifers, man. That's all there is to it. And I love you. God damn it.
Look, and I love you back. And I look, again, I've been a huge fan for a long time.
Thanks, man.
And you're so good, because you look at some people and you're like, man, why the fuck aren't they the biggest movie stars on the planet? With you, I know.
God bless you.
I know.
I've been almost famous like 17 times.
I know. But with you, I know the answer. With you, you're so good that you play characters and you are a chameleon in every single role that people can't remember that it was you. Like, I didn't know until we were good friends that you were the maid in Meet the Fockers. Yeah. I didn't know that about, like, it's you were a totally different person altogether. I didn't know that was the same girl from Waiting. Then I didn't know that was the same girl from Legally Blonde. Like, each one of your roles, you disappear in like a real actor, not just like, oh, there's the same hot girl in all these fucking movies doing the same shit.
When I was 16 years old, I was lucky enough to land this rollerblading movie, and Seth Green played my boyfriend. Yes. No, Airborne.
Airborne. Yeah, not Grind.
With
Come
Jack
on.
Black when he was a little kid.
Yeah.
We were all in Cincinnati together, and I fell in love with Seth Green. And he and I went out for like 5 years. And
Seth Green.
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here.
I
You're
learned so much
kidding.
from him. He was my teacher. He told me, don't ever do the same thing twice. Alanna, don't ever do the same thing twice.
Really?
Yes. He was the person who...
Did you ever do Robot Chicken?
No.
Really?
No. It was a very weird thing would happen. My dad died very suddenly. It was a very tragic death. We'll get into it one day when we're all wasted. But he and I was with Seth.
Yeah.
And I became very depressed, and I was only 19. And I looked at him one day and I said, "You didn't ask for this." And we kind of went off and broke up.
Yeah,
and
went your separate ways. Yeah.
Been very awkward every time we run into each other. It was like,
Really?
You know, I went a little crazy after my dad died, and it was
A lot of people,
I got really,
but a lot of people do.
Yeah, but you just
and he was a
sounded
little
like-
kid. He was 20,
Yeah.
and he didn't know how to deal with his girlfriend who had lost her dad. But
Nobody
he
would at that
taught-
age, by the
Yeah,
No
way.
but
one
it sounds
would've.
like
Come
you kind
on.
of dealt with it as an adult. Like,
I had
hey,
to.
hey, you didn't sign up for this. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be super fucked up, and this is you like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't
like,
want to.
You're gonna have to let me do that. Like,
I
that
didn't
sounds
want him
like
to
a
see
good
me go
send-off.
crazy. I didn't want him to see me go crazy. And so but the one thing that I did get for it was so crazy, wild that when we were little kids, he was such a character actor, and I learned so much from him. Everything I learned as a character actress, I think I became a character actress because of Seth Green. It really? Absolutely. I just wanted to impress him.
That's really funny.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to do. So I figured, well, if I become a character actor, I'll just impress him.
Yeah.
And then the sort of the trajectory of my life sort of went that it continued in that direction after we broke up.
Yeah.
And here I am. It's so crazy.
Yeah, but I mean,
I haven't seen him in years. He's
your
married to
IMDb
just
credit
this
list
hot
is
chick.
insanity.
Well, it's pretty wild. When I did Sister Act 2, Whoopi Goldberg told us, say yes to everything you get offered. So out of those,
that's still the truth today.
no, I always say out of those 300 fucking things that I've done, I maybe got paid on like 50 of them. So don't let that fool you.
Exactly.
It's all about saying yes.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine doing a USC film or an AFI film. Come along, you're playing a hot dog vendor with 2 lines. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll show up because, you know, it's really, I love people. And so if you're you better love fucking people when you do what you do, because if you don't love people when you do what we do, you're fucked. You're around so many different people from so many different journeys for 14 hours.
60 a day. Where
60,
it's
and it's 60 people that you're working with, and you're going to sit down with them, you're having lunch with them, you're having breakfast, and you're going through shit with them, whatever, and you're in really bad weather, what have you, but you've got to really love people to do what we do.
You have to.
There's no other way to get around it.
You have to.
If you hate people, you're fucked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what would you say your first break was? Would you say it was Legally Blonde?
Legally Blonde, definitely. I hadn't worked for a really long time, and I had like a
How
little
old
good,
were you when you got Legally Blonde?
When I was Legally Blonde, I was like 25, 26 or something like that, and we were all playing 18, which was really fun.
Hey, that was
He's done it.
Yeah.
So the movie that I was thinking of was Brink, but I've never heard of Airborne. I gotta go find Airborne.
Airborne,
Yeah,
it was like
you'll find
Gleaming
it.
the Cube.
Jason.
It was Christian Slater.
Christian Slater, yeah.
Gleaming the Cube.
Gleaming the
It was for
No,
skateboarding.
I'm thinking Dogma. Jason.
You're Jason Lee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wrong guy.
No, Jason Lee was in Gleaming the Cube. He was a professional skateboarder.
No
Gleaming
way.
the Cube,
It
yeah,
makes-
but she was
it
in
makes
Airborne.
sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
And
makes
that was
sense,
his
man.
first movie. He went from professional skateboarding to movies, and then he went movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. But,
So you get Legally Blonde.
yeah. I ended up. This is really funny. I hadn't worked in ages, and I find out that Reese Witherspoon, who I had done Freeway with years before, was the lead in Legally Blonde, and so I thought, well, she's pretty fucking short.
Yeah.
I'm short.
Yeah.
And if they need a best friend, I don't know anyone who's as short as I am. So I have a chance of booking this. So I walked in, and the girl who was running up against me was very tall, and I thought, well, that's going to be really hard to like set up the shots.
Yeah.
With 3 girlfriends walking arm in arm, it's going to be really hard. So I walk in, and they had already cast Margot, played by Jessica Caulfield, and she was tiny. And I thought, oh, wait a second, this is really cool. So I met Jessica Caulfield, and every once in a while you look at someone and you're like, oh, they're kind of on my same wavelength.
Yeah.
I grabbed her and I was like, listen, man, I haven't worked in ages. I need a fucking job. She was just like, I hear you, sweetie. Mirror my movements. Just mirror my movements, and we'll make it look like we didn't really come up with it. I was like, that's a really good idea, and I was like, oh, I like this girl. And so
you guys became besties on that, didn't you?
We became besties.
Yeah.
She's now living in Ojai. She's got a beautiful little girl. I'm going to her kid's birthday party on Sunday.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am. And so she and I mirrored each other's movements, and they really liked the way we looked together. And boom, I was hired. And we didn't think that Legally Blonde was going to be a big, huge hit the way it was. We just thought it'd be kind of a cute little, movie that a bunch of kids would really like. But Jesus, we couldn't believe it. We were in shock. It became a big, huge hit overnight. You never know.
Ever.
Whatever you're doing, you never know if it's going to be a huge hit or not.
How was Reese Witherspoon?
She is probably one of the smartest, most intimidating people you will ever meet.
Do you send her the photos of wreaths with her?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you text her those?
Oh my God, I should.
Yeah,
I don't have her. I don't have her number.
Oh.
I mean,
Yeah.
she and I are such professional friends.
Legally
you know what
Blonde,
I mean?
like my generation, that was huge.
Oh.
It was
like
huge,
my sister
but
loved it.
You've got to meet her in
I
person.
saw it.
Yeah, and
She's
here's the
like
thing.
the camera doesn't do her justice. She's a beautiful fucking woman. Like she kind of glows. She kind of has that Drew Barrymore thing going on where you meet her in person, you're like, damn, that bitch is fuckable.
Yeah.
Like she is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it's intimidating when you talk to her. It's some people that are just so hot where it doesn't really sound like words are coming out of their mouth. They sound like,
Sure.
You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. That did happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People like that. She's intimidating.
But there's also there's also those people that you work with that you're like, I'm not going to be your best friend. I'm not going to text you. We're probably not going to call.
No, sure, of course.
And
It's the celebrity thing.
Yeah.
When they're really, really famous, it's very hard to kind of break through that wall. You don't want to bug them. You don't want to be that person that's just trying to be their friend because, at that point in their career, they probably are very untrustworthy of a lot of people around them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm sure they have enough friends and enough family members that, are close to them and all of that fun stuff.
Yeah. Jared, by the way, ADD Jared, texting and
My
Snapchatting.
sister is a huge Legally Blonde fan.
Are you kidding me?
I'm sending her photos right now.
Can we crank call her right now?
Oh, we will. Like
Okay.
once we're done with the
Yeah,
show,
once
we're done with
the show.
FaceTiming
We're
my
gonna FaceTime
sister.
her. We'll
For
She
sure.
will die.
It's awesome.
For sure.
She will die.
God, this is so
She just
cool.
went to a Hanson concert last night. Like
Yeah,
I
you-
asked
you
her,
know
I go-
Hanson's in
I
town,
go,
right?
Be real.
What do they look like?
What was the crowd like? She goes, it was a bunch of 30-year-old overweight women. I was like,
Yeah.
that is hilarious.
That's
That's
Hanson.
exactly it. Like,
Bop.
yes.
Yeah.
That's Hanson. That's Hanson.
That's
So
good.
you do Legally Blondes, they blow up.
Yeah.
And then what's next? Are you getting offers at this point?
Not at all. I still audition. In fact, I went out on 8 things since my kid, has been born. And I haven't
God.
booked shit, man.
I
still audition, man.
You
I
were the
still
best there is, and
fucking
that is
audition.
completely depressing to hear.
No, are you kidding me? Everyone still has to audition now because Nicole Kidman is saying yes to TV.
To TV, yeah.
What kind of
You know,
bullshit is that,
Jennifer
man?
Aniston's doing TV.
Oh
Listen,
my
I
God.
have a hunch about
Reese
Jennifer Aniston.
Witherspoon's doing TV.
She's doing
it's
TV,
so
yeah.
scary.
I have a
No.
hunch about I've always had a hunch about Jennifer Aniston.
She's
What's
got
that?
a dick.
I think she's no. I think she smells.
Really?
No.
Yeah, that's the only explanation.
I've smelled Jennifer Aniston. She doesn't smell.
No, I'm
No.
talking.
Oh,
You know,
She's
I think
delightful.
she's
I'm talking
got to be.
smells.
She's delightful.
Really?
I'm talking smells.
Oh, she's got to be
no.
heavenly, bro.
Listen, no,
Yeah.
because look at her relationship history. Something's off that we don't know about.
Let me tell you something. There are two kinds of guys: the ones that like pussy and the ones that don't. And I don't care if it smells or it doesn't. You go for it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Still,
I don't care if Jennifer Aniston's pussy smells.
That is completely true.
If you're
if you're
a man who likes pussy, doesn't matter.
You're like, oh, I can't do this. I've tried.
Well, nothing a little antibiotics can't take care of, right?
No,
I'm sure
you're good on that. I think Jennifer Aniston was the opposite, where I think she wanted to be famous, and like her schedule, all that shit.
Well, her dad was an actor.
Yes,
right.
It's a nightmare to deal with, and so think about it this: if you and your husband had the same exact schedule, you wouldn't work.
Yeah,
because it's too much. Two people on that type of schedule, it's too much. So you date a Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
You're gone. When do they see each other? Fucking 10 days out of the year?
Yeah. It's got to be a really weird relationship. And
the guy she's with now, that Justin Theroux, he's a good actor, but he works, here and there sparingly, but he's a great writer. So he's writing a lot of shit. He wrote Tropic Thunder and all that stuff.
So he's home.
Yeah. And that makes sense.
So he's home and they see each other and they can hang. I get it. I have a feeling she's a really cool chick. I used to go to acting school with Angie Voight at the time.
Really?
When she was a little girl.
She was going by Voight then.
She was going by Voight, Angie Voight. And she had, and I always say this is really fun, when your features are just a little too big for your face when you're a little kid, right after puberty. But she really looked like that Muppet. Like for sure, man. She really looked like that one, right?
Yeah.
The blonde with like the really big lips and this like tiny little bubble butt, and she was really cute and painfully shy, and it was just really wild. That anyway,
it's funny,
amazing that she became who she is. So wild.
So when did Waiting come along? Was Waiting far after Legally Blonde?
Waiting was far after Legally Blonde. I had it was just one of those meetings where I found out that it was I didn't read the script, but I found out that it was like Dazed and Confused in a TGI Fridays, and I thought, oh, that's really fun. So it's very conversational. It's a talkie film.
But that was one of those ones though. You've told me a story about this where it was the pay to play. And they didn't think it was going to go, and then it was like, we have to do this in 20 days.
Yeah. So Ryan,
it's like, go, throttle.
And Ryan Reynolds was attached for a while. He pushed it for Blade Trinity.
Yeah.
Blade Trinity shoots. He comes back and does that, and they were like, great. We're going to shoot this whole fucking thing in like 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
It was Rob McKittrick and...
Yeah. Right. And all those cats.
But it ended up being a cult classic, like, to the nth degree.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It was so much fun.
You did a sequel, right?
We did a sequel.
Yeah.
We did a sequel. Oh, my. We did a sequel.
Did McKittrick do the sequel, or was that somebody else?
McKittrick wrote the sequel, and it was directed by Jeff Bayless.
From Project Greenlight.
From Project
Jared.
Greenlight.
Yes.
Greenlight, yes.
Yeah.
Greenlight.
The redhead from Project Greenlight.
That fro, man.
But you crushed in that.
It was a lot of fun, and it was really it was just so weird. I had seen Paul Giamatti in American Splendor, and I thought, I'm gonna make the character after that guy. This is good. This is gonna be great. And then I had seen Yosemite Sam. I always watch like a little cartoon character or something to kind of give me some sort of inspiration. I was like, if I got Yosemite Sam and Paul Giamatti's character in American Splendor, and I put them together, I'm going to make Naomi.
In Blank Check?
Was Paul Giamatti in Blank? That's a good question. I don't know.
Jared,
sure.
you bring up the weirdest fucking movies.
I don't know, but if he was in Blank Check,
here's the fun.
I love you,
Alana. Here's a fun fact about Jared. He watches like the weirdest fucking movies that nobody knows about. And he's like,
wow.
Oh, hey. Do you know? It's the. You remember All Dogs Go to Heaven?
Yeah.
It's the grandfather in All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Wow.
And you're like, dude, come on, fuck off, bro.
Are you kidding? So you watch all the movies?
He watches everything.
The B-sides of movies
is who I thought I was thinking of.
Yeah,
so.
Nowhere close. Same with your call earlier, Jared. Like nowhere close on these people.
Karen Duffy was in Blank Check.
Oh,
I fucking
God
love
bless.
that girl. I love Duffy.
Yeah.
Ross, if you could be anything else besides what you're doing right now, what would you be? It cannot be anything that has anything to do with the entertainment industry.
In the entertainment industry.
Yeah, what would you do?
I would be. Somebody's asked me this before. I would be. I would have originally said basketball. Like I want to play basketball.
Yeah.
I was really good as a youth.
You're tall as fuck.
Well, yeah. And here's what happened: is I got to 9th grade.
Yeah.
It's tall as fuck. It was dominating everybody. It was awesome. Nobody had told me like, "Hey, you're white and you can't
jump."
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to play with these guys.
Right.
So I was in like the AAU, the traveling leagues, and then this black kid named Sharif Abdul Rahim, who ended up playing like 10 years in the NBA.
Jesus.
Opening tip off. It's me and him versus the tip. He gets the tip. I backpedal down court to try to guard him. I look up, and his dick and balls are hanging in my face. He's
fantastic.
hanging on the rim. He had just dunked over me, knocked
God.
me to the ground, and I'm laying on the ground, and I just see a large set of black man's dick and balls in my face. And I'm no lie, Alanna. I went back because we were staying at University of Georgia and their dorms.
Right.
And I went back to University of Georgia, and I pulled out like an old notepad, like the black and white composite, like fucking standard notepad you get, and I go, all right, basketball is out. What else are you great at? And I was like, I think I'm the funniest person ever. I think I was like, this. All right, I'm going to try to do this. How do I do this? Stand up, movies, start shooting stuff, all of that. But the other option was I wrote a backup down of like, hey, if that doesn't work out and you don't make it, what else are you interested in?
Right.
And it was investment banking. I've always had an interest in the stock market and how companies work, why they work, why they're financially huge or not huge, like, and that was my big thing. So I would definitely say that
you get off on stimulation. You have to be doing something
and
really
it's stimulation
stimulating.
like the market where it's every day.
Right.
So that way, very similar to acting, where you're going to get a yes or no at the end of the day. If a stock is doing shitty that day or good that day, either way, you're going to be watching the numbers, waiting for something. Yes,
it's a high.
Yeah, it's a big rush.
Like that is where like my transition made was, with what we did
from the military to
You're
calling in bombs every day.
You're from the military.
Oh yeah,
15 years.
I should have done my homework, man. Tell me about that.
Well, it was almost very similar to your Saturday Night Live story.
Really?
Yes. So I went into the Air Force to be like, I had signed in at 17 years old. My dad signed me in, and I was supposed to be a guy that loaded bombs on an airplane. I thought that was super gay. I was like, we're at war. We were first year into the Afghan war. I'm like, this is gay as shit. Like, I'm gonna go load bombs. This is super fucking dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Not taken away from everybody out there that is a bomb loader, but to me, I was
you want to be in the trenches.
That was super gay. So I get to basic training, and they tell me like, oh, you could go to this briefing about this job the Air Force offers only when you're here, and then if you make it in, like, they'll let you go. So we go to this meeting, and this guy comes in, like, massive human, just walks into the classroom that we're all in. He's got Army patches on an Air Force uniform. He's got all these school badges on his chest. You're just like, what the fuck? And he was like, let me tell you what my job is. I'm sitting in Iran. I'm looking at an airfield that doesn't look good. And I call the airplanes, and I'm shooting a laser right at their fucking aircraft and their tower. He's like, and I guide those bombs in. And as soon as those bombs hit, I got 700 Army dudes behind me that are about to fuck that airfield up. I was like, this sounds amazing. Hi, I'm Jarred.
Yeah,
stimulation.
I want that job.
Yeah.
So they give us this slip like, okay, if you want this job, you get to try out tomorrow. Here's your slip, because you're in basic training. So you're on lockdown everywhere, but he handed me the slip that got me away from normal shit to go try out for this. So I wake up the next morning. I drug 4 other people with me. Like, you have to try. We're doing this. We're all doing it. Like, we're going to go be this. And we all go to the tryouts. And I hand the slip to the TI. He lets us go. And we get to the whole setup.
Yeah.
And it's a PT test, smoke session, everything. But during the entire thing, like during the PT test, I'm doing a graded PT test. I'm like, what kind of sights do we get on our guns? And they're like, you can ask those questions later. I was like, but do we get night vision? And like I'm just asking all these questions and shit. And they're like, what the fuck's wrong with you? So when we're running our run for the PT test, every lap I come around, I have another question for the instructors. And they're just like, oh God, what is wrong with these guys? Yeah. So when we finish, they don't tell you that day. They say, hey, all right, 3 weeks from now on Thursday, you will know if you made, there was about 112 people that tried out. They go, we have 3 slots to the school. On Thursday, 3 weeks from now, you will know if you made it to the school. So I hid that slip that I had that got my get out of jail free card. And went back, did 3 weeks of basic training. That day, that morning, I flashed my slip like, hey, we got to go do TAC P things. And I've got my other 2 guys that survived that whole thing with me. And the instructor, the drill instructor, was just like, oh, yeah, go. So we walk to the personnel facility on the base, and it's 7 a.m. Well, they're not open. So we wait for them to open. They open at 8. We go into the building, and the receptionist is like, hey, what are you guys doing? I was like, I flashed my thing. I was like, oh, we're waiting for the TAC P recruiters. They're like, all right, cool, have a seat. And we sit there until 2:00 in the afternoon.
Oh shit!
8 a.m.
Same as Saturday Night Live. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
You're waiting there for fucking 9 hours.
Come
yeah.
on.
I'm playing this game, and
I'm in it now.
Finally, the receptionist is like, "Have they still not come?" I was like, "Yeah. Could you call them maybe? Because I have no clue how to find these people or not. I just went to a place that was public." And she was like, yeah, let me get a number. So she leaves. She comes back. She calls. And she's on the phone right in front of us. She's like, no, you got 3 of them in here. I don't know why they're here. They've been here since 8 a.m. They said they had a meeting with you. Well, they're here. And then she hangs up the phone. They go, and she's like, he's on his way. So this guy, his name is Sergeant Hayes, comes in.
My God, my heart's beating like a rabbit.
He goes, Taylor, what the fuck are you doing here right now? I go, Sergeant, I just really want to be a TAC P. I don't want to fucking load bombs on airplanes. I really want to do this. I needed to know from you if I made it or not. And this guy has a bunch of papers in his hand. And he goes, yeah, you made it. And he points to me. He goes, but those 2 didn't. And then he looks at him and he goes, but I don't have to find these 2 guys now. Come on, let's get you some new paperwork.
Wow.
And now these 2 dudes.
Wow.
I lied my ass off to the military and got what I wanted, and then got a guy that is retiring this year as a TAC P, as a
great.
1 Charlie 4 that would have never been one if I wasn't being a shady fucker.
Wow.
That's a beautiful story.
The other guy failed while he was in school because he injured his knee. So it was me and the other guy, but he got the contract because the dude showed up and he was like, well, no, I don't got to find these fucks. Like,
oh my
you're
God.
here.
Oh my God.
Shred that up.
God,
crazy.
Oh God, what a great story!
So when you're
what a great story!
When you're telling me you're Saturday Night Live, I'm like, oh, I've done that.
Oh no,
I'll play the game.
I've waited for 9 hours. Yeah.
You all know that feeling, and I just thought to myself, oh my God, well, if what if there's a hidden camera and they're testing
for me?
me?
Though, every military selection, like every big military selection, they play these games with you. They'll tell you, after you try out the first time, that was great, but not what we're looking for. That's a code.
So you're
Come back.
You're the same as Hollywood. Like you're in the same.
But that's the thing is they'll say these things like, like they're gonna see if you're gonna come back and give the same effort the next time. Like that's most of Delta. Like your first throw at Delta Force.
Well, I think
they don't select you.
Human nature, we're obsessed with rejection. We are obsessed with rejection.
That is a perfect proof of character.
Yes.
And somebody that is not putting ego in their way. It's like, oh, cool. Well, you know what? This is what I want to do. So I'll come here 9 times.
No.
That's
You
what it
leave your
takes.
ego at the door. It doesn't matter. No. Bye.
And that's what proves to these people. Okay, that's the guy we want. The one that's like, oh, you guys didn't want me this time? Fuck it. I'll come back next time.
Right.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure. God damn.
And it's one of those things where I think if you want to be successful in this life, you have to accept that there's a ton of rejection all the time.
Yeah.
And sit in a fucking lobby for 9 hours and wait it out.
Absolutely.
And try to do it.
Sometimes you have to.
Rejection
I know.
is God's protection.
Oh God.
Oh.
God.
Yeah, right.
Magnum is God's protection.
Yeah,
like that's a
exactly.
Magnum condom is God's protection.
That's for damn sure.
But
Wow.
you look, you've done some like awesome shit in your career.
Yeah.
What was it like working with Johnny Depp?
Johnny Depp is very thin. I think he's vegan. He
Tiny man.
tiny guy.
Yeah. Dainty.
And very dainty.
A lot of them are.
All of them are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really interesting when you meet them in person. You're just like, Jesus Christ, what a little shit! I can't believe it.
He's tiny.
He's a tiny little guy.
Yeah, tiny.
No
Look at
bigger than a
him.
minute.
He'll get up on stage and play with like Marilyn Manson and shit.
No, he's like an insect.
He's
He's
just
like an
small.
insect in flannel.
My friend
And-
was in all the Pirates of the Caribbean,
Really?
and he was like, "Oh, dude, Johnny's fucking little."
Yeah, he's like Perry
Yeah.
Farrell. He's like, they're very rock and roll. I mean, especially and he was such a sweetheart, and he was like one of the crew guys. I mean, every once in a while you meet an actor who's just like, oh wow, they could be a gaffer or a dolly grip, and you know, they're cool.
Yeah.
They're cool.
Crazy.
They hang. You know, they're
They
good at
hang.
hanging. They're good at hanging.
That's what I've heard too. He'll hang
He's
He'll-
wine drinking
with the crew and everything.
Yeah,
Like,
no, he sits and has lunch with everyone, and he's just cool.
Yeah, but that's
Cool.
courtesy.
It should be.
Brother.
It should be, but it's
Like,
not though. It's not.
But that's
yeah.
how we were on our
That's
film.
how,
Like
most people.
that was
but-
the biggest thing I heard from the. Wait, why are you talking to me? Because you're working on our movie.
Yeah.
And I
And-
appreciate
yeah.
it.
But yeah,
And you're working hard. Like you're sweating right now. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
you're working hard. We like that. Thank you.
right. And I think there's also a side of a celebrity that thinks, oh well, I'll probably make them feel uncomfortable if I do sit down at the table, and then they'll be watching their P's and Q's and all that bullshit. You know, so it's like a double-edged sword. It's weird. I don't know. It's interesting.
After all the things you've done in your career,
Yeah.
is there one dream role that you're like, dude, I would love to fucking do this?
I've always wanted to work with I've always wanted to work with Tim Roth.
Really? Tim Roth?
Tim Roth of all people.
I like
I've
that.
always-
That's an odd
it's
choice.
So weird.
Yeah.
Richard E. Grant, Hank Azaria.
Hank Azaria.
Hank Azaria is
No
my hero,
shit.
man. I think he's
He's another
hero.
one who's a big voice actor.
Yeah, and he's just so fun. I'd love to work with John Turturro.
John Turturro would be badass.
Man,
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be a lot of fun.
Is there anybody you'd like to play in like a biopic or anything?
Oh my God, a biopic.
Meredith Brooks.
Carmen Miranda, I think would be a lot of fun. I'd obviously have to wear a prosthetic nose.
Meredith Brooks. You could totally pull off Meredith Brooks.
Meredith, why not?
Why-
I'll take
why
it.
not?
I'll take it. But hey, I mean, you know, a biopic. I mean, anything for God's sakes. But biopics are so hard, man.
They
Oh,
are.
My God.
But
the
you're
pressure,
great
the
at
pressure.
slipping into every character imaginable. Like I asked you to do a prostitute voice, and you did an old black woman.
Yeah.
I gotta hear
And I have a new book
Yeah,
coming
dude.
out with Harriet Tubman.
I
I want
gotta
you to
hear
play the
that
old black
one.
woman in it.
I can't wait.
Can you do the black woman for us?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
I remember Teddy when he came across from me when we was doing this porno together, and I did, and he came up to me and he was just like, "I want to be your man," and I said, "I want to be your woman." And after a while, he started stalking me because I just know it's not. Isn't that crazy? I think
Oh,
you know
dude.
what it is? I think everybody wants to be black.
Yes.
Because they're the
my
coolest
black character
motherfuckers
too.
in the world.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be black. Let
Yeah.
me tell you something. They are, because they're the fucking coolest people in the world. Why do you think the Brits are the best with music? Why do you think the Beatles exist? You know why the Beatles exist? Because their mom and dad said it was okay for them to listen to the rhythm and blues albums
Yeah.
from America. Okay?
And you follow my Instagram. I do Freeman Friday, Morgan Freeman.
Oh, Oh,
I've always wanted to be
because
Morgan
they have
Freeman.
because
That's the best.
I'm not stereotyping. They are born with fucking great soul. They
Soul.
wear their soul,
Soul, yeah.
on their
Soul.
shoulders
Yeah.
like a badge of fucking honor, and it's so intimidating. It's so goddamn intimidating.
yeah.
I mean, and they're good at everything they fucking do artistically.
Artistically,
Everything,
absolutely,
everything they put their
They
hands
try.
on.
absolutely.
Absolutely, it is what it is, man.
So after Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce, it's over.
Yeah.
Now, what are you working on now? Where are you going now?
After Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce is over, and now I'm pitching the show that you and I have kind of figured out
Absolutely.
here. That's going on, and Coco is a Pixar movie that I'm in, and I play a very important part in this Pixar film that's coming out.
They'll get a sequel.
During Thanksgiving. Oh God, I hope
it'll
so.
get a sequel.
Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be amazing?
Boy.
Oh my God, that'd be really cool.
Boy.
Up for a couple of things. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Blah de blah. But it's always a struggle, man. It really is.
Uphill. I have
a 10-week-old at home.
I know,
and it's really
here's
wild.
the thing: for somebody as talented as you to hear it's an up, it's always a struggle.
Oh, I've clawed my
Makes
way
me
to getting little
like
things
so
here and
depressed. Like, yeah.
there.
Have you ever worked with John DiMaggio, by the way?
Oh yeah. We did Pound Puppies together.
Johnny D is one of my friends.
I love him so much.
gr-
I love him
gr-
violently.
Great voice actor.
Oh,
really funny.
he's just
Great guy.
The talent in his fucking pinky.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
Yeah.
It's and he's just so up your Kirstie Alley.
He did a movie, by the way, about voice actors. I don't know if you saw it.
I
know this
I'm
voice.
in it.
Yes.
Yeah. I was in it. Yeah.
But did you actually ever see it, like the finished product?
We did. Yeah.
Okay, good.
There was a
Good.
There was a premiere at the Egyptian Theater.
Yes.
Around the corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love John DiMaggio. He's so much fun. What a hang, man.
Same. I've been
What
friends with
a
him
hang.
for 15 years. He's a great guy. Arguably the best voice actor in the biz. He plays Bender on Futurama.
He can do anything.
Anything.
He's like Mel Blancs.
Yeah.
He really is.
yeah.
He's right up there. He really is. How's he doing now? Does he have a kid yet?
He's married. I don't think he has a kid yet.
Oh, okay. I thought
But he just got married and like he
Yeah.
enjoys life. There's nobody who enjoys life like that guy. Like,
oh my God.
because a lot of people, you make money and you're afraid to spend it or do things like he'll go to Amsterdam every year. He'll go to trips with his wife. Like, we still stay in touch on Instagram.
Yeah,
and-
he's cool.
and
He's a
in real
really
life.
cool
And
cat, man.
yeah, he called me about a director the other day and was like, "What do you think about this guy? Do you hate this guy?" And I was like, "I fucking hate this guy." And he goes, "Oh, God, I hate this guy."
I figured.
Yeah.
No, he's good. He's so good.
But he's awesome.
No, I really
And
like Joe.
you've got a
He's cool.
10-week-old now.
What's up?
How has that changed your life?
I have a what? A 10-week-old.
10-week-old,
Oh my
yeah.
God, it's crazy. We
You
froze
had
embryos.
a baby 10
I did.
As I said to her,
I'm 42.
she's so thin.
No.
We froze embryos. We have like 5 kids on ice, and then I got pregnant like a month later naturally, which is so weird.
Really?
Yes, we had sex on October 27th, 2000 last year. I swear to God, because I was back and forth from Vancouver, and so we our love life was kind of going boot.
Yeah.
And so we did have sex on October 27th. I swear to God. 4 weeks later, I'm like, wow, why do my boobs hurt when I wake up in the morning and my
Why
period
am I
is
all upset?
Why am I? Yeah, this
Yeah.
is really weird. And so what happens? Lo and behold, I pee on a stick, and it was like I'm in Canada, so it was like une de deux semaines, enchanté.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think that means I'm pregnant, and I was, and that was it. I was pregnant throughout the whole last season of Girlfriend's Guide, and it was one of the loneliest experiences I've ever had. I don't think I'll get pregnant again. It was a very lonely,
Really?
isolating experience. Yeah, for me it was. I think a lot of women are like, oh, I loved being pregnant. It was so
Yeah,
much fun.
yeah,
I got
No,
so
that
much
doesn't
attention.
sound
No.
like I eat a lot of Jack in the Box and I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I don't want to be pregnant.
I felt really alone. It was a solitary experience because no one else around me was pregnant. And I just felt sort of, I was all by myself in this whole thing. And I felt like a building under construction. It was sort of like, oh, okay, so this is what women do over and over again?
Yeah.
Oh my
No.
God. And having a vaginal birth was probably one of the scariest things I've ever done. It was the scariest thing
You
I've
have
ever
a
done in my
small
fucking
frame.
life.
Yes.
That
very
is
my
small.
not
God.
a good.
Very
you
small
should
frame.
have. You should have
I-
had
dude.
someone else do this for you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. What's really weird is I was like, I can't believe, like I would look in the mirror with my vagina like open, and I'd be like, I can't believe a child is going to come out of this.
No.
How is he going to come out? I don't understand.
Where are you sitting when you're looking in the mirror like that?
Well, just well, we have like this full frame
Full frame mirror, yeah.
mirror, this closet, and I would like open up my legs and like look in the mirror and saying, how is this going to happen? I'm so scared. And by the way, when you're in labor, all of a sudden you feel your pelvic bones start to open. Like as the hours go by, you're like, oh my God, this is actually happening. I can actually do this. This is actually happening. It's the weirdest thing in the world.
Did you take the epidural?
Oh my God, did I ever?
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, give me the menu. I want drugs. I'm 100%, not a martyr.
Yeah. The people that don't, I'm just like, man, come on.
Oh my God.
Come on.
Why?
Are you kidding
Come on.
me?
Yeah.
Why?
No, I had never even broken a finger before, so I didn't know what my pain threshold was. And then finally, it's like the second hour of me being in labor, I was like, oh my God, give me the drugs. Are you kidding me? This is insane. And
fuck this.
It was fuck that. It was crazy. Oh my God.
Well,
Been through it 3 times. Slept through it 3 times.
Yeah.
Actually.
Now-
Jared,
Just a quick nap.
Are you kidding me?
Jared's the father of the year.
Love that.
Father
I love
of the year. Treats his kids like lizards. And it's nice.
So damn cool.
So you're not going to have another one?
I don't think so, man.
No,
I mean, unless
no.
you'll have it for me, because boy.
I mean, look, I could do it rectally, obviously, but
oh God. I mean, do it. It's
you know, but
insane.
You got one. That's fine. That's enough.
I've got one.
Yeah,
and
that's enough.
You've never known exhaustion like you do when you have a kid. It is wild, man. It is insane.
Those first 4 months.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm on month 3. And but the one thing that's so wild is that you wake up in the morning, you're like, wow, I've never met any human being where I'd be like, oh, I'll step in front of a train for this person. This is really wild.
Same.
But you'll get the flip soon.
Yeah.
Where it's like they'll just start sleeping.
Oh
And you're
my
like,
God.
oh my God.
This is
Wow.
great.
I
Yeah.
remember this now. I
Wow.
remember this now.
Wow. I don't know who I am right now. My brain is oatmeal.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, it'll all come back and it's a blast, and I personally love it. We were talking about it before.
God, I hope so.
Before we
Yeah.
came on, and
You have like the most beautiful Aryan baby.
I know he's Hitler's dream. He's Hitler's dream.
Extreme.
Blonde hair,
It
blue
really
eyes.
is.
When you look at him, you're like, oh, that's what he was trying to achieve.
HY.
That's what Hitler was trying to achieve.
That's what's going on.
Yeah, and you're like, all right, cool. He's gonna have a sweet life.
This is what it was all about.
Yeah, but I look at him and I'm like, man, God damn it, you're gonna have the best life. Like
Like,
congratulations.
It's insane.
I know.
You
Oh
won
my
the
God.
life lottery.
Yeah, he
I
won the
mean,
gene
you're
jackpot.
gonna
That
be
kid.
hot.
Really did.
Yeah.
Life's
You're
gonna
gonna go
be
to a
pretty damn
good
easy for him.
school.
Absolutely.
Like,
A super good school.
I really started liking mine when they started liking riding motorized vehicles.
Really?
Yeah, Jared wants his kids to be like motorsports,
Oh,
like
that's so
X
cute.
Games stars.
That's
I need
so
him to do
good.
backflips.
Whereas mine, like I can already tell he's gonna be like making videos and fucking like a social media superstar.
Really?
That type of thing where it's like he likes to watch himself in videos and shit, and you're like, all right, cool. I see
All
where this is
right.
going.
All right. Yeah, cool.
I
Where
see, where,
Charlotte's
I
like,
see where this is headed.
Show me riding the dirt bike again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Keep going. You need to do a better
Oh,
job.
that's so
Yeah.
good. That's so good. I don't know what I think my kid looks like Mark Anthony. He looks nothing like my husband. He looks
He
nothing
could
like me.
he could be a pop star, a Latin
He could
pop
be a
star.
pop star. He could be a Latin pop star.
A Latin
I have
fucking pop
no
star.
idea. Whatever. He's very textbook.
There is.
I mean, he's not colicky. Thank God. Oh my God. Was yours?
No.
Oh, thank
no
God.
colic.
See, he was good. He was
Thank
good. Yeah. 3
Like right now,
months
my
in, you're
youngest-
good.
Yeah.
happiest baby in the world.
Oh
Like,
my
she-
God, you're
yeah.
lucky.
She doesn't give a shit.
Woo!
Like,
She's
Yeah.
just like a little potted plant, right?
yeah, just smiles.
Oh, so
Just
good.
little plant.
It's
and
so
likes
good.
to hold food 24 hours a day. She's mine.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good.
You'll never
It's so
meet
good.
somebody holding food better than Jared.
It's so good.
Well, listen, I love you to death. You're my favorite on the planet, and I appreciate you
I love
stopping
you
by.
too, man.
I know you want to get back to home to your child.
I want to go to In-N-Out first, and then I'll go back
exactly,
to
and
my
then go back to your home, your child, and everything. Alanna Ubach, one of the finest actresses we've ever had
Oh, thanks, man.
in
I
our
love you.
generation, and grateful to have you on the show. Thank you for doing it.
Glad to be here, man. Thank you so much.
We love you.
I love you.